Hey guys, this is Comic Uno and LRM Online, and today I'm doing Comic Uno, the weekly roundup. So this is a new show for LRM Online, which I'm really excited to do. It's going to be me talking about news stories, TV shows, movies, comics, and all this type of stuff that I could talk about throughout the week. And just to give you guys a little rundown of what I'm going to cover for this show, I'm going to do news stories that came out, so things that I thought were interesting or big news stories that came out. We have any movie I saw, maybe I'll do something with that. I don't see movies every week, but maybe a trailer that came out, I could talk about that. But I did see a movie this week, so I'm going to talk about that this week. A TV show that I binged or that I'm watching, so maybe when Supergirl's out, I'll talk about that, or Arrow, and I'm still hammering out the details for that. But as of right now, I'll talk about like shows I'm binging or something I want to recommend you guys. And then comic book stuff, I'm going to talk about my favorite book from the week, so my pick of the week, which is a lot of fun, just to maybe next time that you go to the comic book store, you miss something this week and you get interested in it, so that's why I'll do the pick of the week. And then 3 comics that I am anticipating for the next coming week, because we are doing this show in the beginning of the week, so as you get ready to go to the comic book store, you can think about what comics you want to get, especially if you don't have a pull list and you're just really curious of getting into comics and trying to find some good books. So let's get started and talk about the news that came out this week. So the first thing is we had the TCAs this week. So that means a lot of TV news, and surprisingly there was a lot of DC news. I picked the DC news that interests me the most, even though there's a lot of DC news I wanted to talk about. But first thing I wanted to talk about was the Supergirl Flash musical. Yes, this is something I've been asking for a long time. Now, if you see the picture I used, it was Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist in Glee. Now, I haven't seen all of Glee, but I knew that they were musically talented. So I'm like, yes, let's see a music episode. I think that'd be a lot of fun in a superhero show that we really haven't seen that often. And it worked for Buffy, why not Flash and Supergirl? I thought Arrow could be added in that too. And it seems like they are going to try to add some of the DC TV actors that are not part of these shows, just to kind of add them into the musical also. It's going to be a 2-part episode. There's going to be 1 original song in both episodes. So there's going to be 2 original songs. All the others, I have no idea what type of songs they're going to use, but either way, it's going to be fun, and I am really excited for this. I'm excited for the 4-part crossover, but I might be more excited for this. I don't know. There's definitely the same amount of excitement. So that's one Supergirl and Flash news. Let's move on to another Supergirl news piece, which was Miss Martian is heading to Supergirl. I have the actress's name right here, Sharon Leal. So she was in Hellcats, so that was a CW show. I've never seen that show, even though I do like some of the actors there. I've never seen it, so I don't really know much about the actress, but I am super excited for Miss Martian to be on this show, especially with the White Martian heritage that was in season 1, and that we know that Miss Martian is a white Martian. So how is John Jones going to deal with that? So I think that's going to be a big story, and see more of Martian Manhunter's family again, which was a big aspect and just a big theme in the show in general, is family and friends, and I think it's going to be cool how they do Miss Martian, and the effects I'm really excited for. Also, the actress is a little bit older, so I'm curious if they're going to try younging her down, that's a word, trying to make her younger, to make her a teenager, or maybe she'll like work for Cat Grant and be like the new assistant. I don't know. I'm curious to see where they go with that. So moving on to some more TV news that came out actually this weekend from Power Rangers Morphicon, and that was the Power Rangers Ninja Steel trailer that came out. So I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. I wish I saw more of Dino Charge, because I really did like the cast for the show, and I think it was an improvement from Power Ranger Samurai and Power Rangers Megaforce. I think Dino Charge was definitely the best out of all three of those. And hopefully I get to catch up on that a little bit as we get into Ninja Steel. But Ninja Steel, they revealed their cast. We have 2 female characters, which I'm excited about. And one of the female characters is the White Ranger. I really like that. I can't wait to see what they do with that character. And also, the Blue Ranger is actually, the actor is the brother of the current Blue Ranger. So if you watch the video online, which is the announcement video, you see how emotional everyone gets. And you can actually see how close the Dino Charge cast is too. So I like that. It makes you excited just to be part of this fandom. And I like the trailer too. I wanted to see a little bit more of like what the story is going to be about. But it looks like it's going to be kind of like this game show villain, which will be interesting that I haven't seen. And also ninja powers. We haven't seen that since Ninja Storm, which is one of my favorite Power Rangers season. So excited for that. And powers, superpowers. I like that idea. And I want to know what the B story is going to be. I want to know what they do when they're not Power Rangers. I think that's also a really fun aspect of Power Rangers, is that secret identity aspect and seeing how it could cross with their Power Rangers lives. That's why I kind of tend to like the high school seasons the most with Power Rangers. But maybe they'll steal some stuff from Ninja Storm, that there was a ninja school. I don't know, but it looks cool. I'm excited. I'll definitely try to review that on my YouTube channel when it comes out, at least the pilot episode. So last but not least, the biggest news story of this week was the Star Wars Rogue One trailer. I've definitely become more of a Star Wars fan since the recent Star Wars movie, Force Awakens. I caught up with all the Star Wars movies and really liked the franchise. I read the comic books from Marvel, and I loved Episode 7. And I'm excited for Rogue One. I'm excited that it looks different. And the trailer is definitely more action-packed than story-driven, which Star Wars trailers tend to do because they don't want to reveal all its story, which I think is a smart idea. I like that they do that. And we got a little, well, not even a little ending. It was a pretty big tease that Darth Vader is going to be in this movie, which we knew, but just to have Darth Vader, the back of his head, it was cool. I also like the colors they use throughout, some of the lights they use, and then you saw the red light with Darth Vader. So I like the action of the trailer. I don't know if it got me pumped as much as I wanted to, because I'm just more of a story-driven person. But again, glad that they didn't spoil anything, and it did give us enough energy, enough excitement for the movie to come out in December. Alright, so now moving on, talking about a movie that came out this week, and that was Suicide Squad, which kind of came out last week, but we're going to talk about it anyways. And Suicide Squad, just to give a small review of it, I liked it for what it was. I think you should go into it not expecting plot, because there really isn't any, but it's a character-driven movie, and again, that's kind of what I tend to lean on towards more. It was a fun movie, and for me, I see it as a B movie that was trying to be a B movie. Even if they weren't, I think it worked for Suicide Squad. Also cool that we got to see some more female characters, which I think superhero movies could always use more of, because it kind of is lacking in some other movies. So I was glad to see Harley Quinn. I was happy to see Enchantress, and loved Amanda Waller in this movie. Can't wait to see more of her as, you know, Viola Davis playing her. I love what they brought to that character in this movie. So I liked it. I thought it was a solid movie. Again, shut off your mind, have fun, eat some popcorn. You'll like Suicide Squad if you don't think too much about it. So moving on to a TV show. So like I said, I binge a lot of television shows, and maybe when, you know, Supergirl, Arrow, and all those shows come back, I'll try adding that into this segment. But for now, let's talk about a TV show I binge watched this week, which I hope I could do some sort of review on my channel about, because I'm enjoying this and was pleasantly surprised by it, and that was Nickelodeon's The Loud House. I'm a big animation fan, a big cartoon fan, and I haven't been watching a lot of animated shows because I just haven't been liking a lot of the current ones. And because a lot of the animation shows, especially for kids, they're targeted to kids, it's very hyper, really silly, you know, has a lot of fart jokes, which, you know, adults can't really enjoy that. But this show, I think, is a very well done family show. It's about this boy named Lincoln. He's like 10, and he has 10 sisters, and they all have these different personalities. They're all different ages, and what I like about it, it's not in this easily could have been a show about him hating his sisters. There's so many kid shows, so many shows like that, where he's like, oh, I hate you, just stop pranking me, type thing. But here, it's the sisters learning from Lincoln and the Lincoln learning from his sisters. And even though they all have distinct personalities, I wouldn't call them stereotypes, because you see these characters grow throughout each episode. And what this show really reminds me is like of old Sunday comic book strip. It even looks like that. If you miss like the old, the early 2000s, 90s type cartoons, I think this really has the heart of that, and has good story, and really has good potential to grow as a show. And I hope more people get to watch it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's actually funny. Like, I have caught myself laughing out loud at it, because these characters are great and the voice acting is really good. The main character is actually, a young boy playing him, which is also rare in these shows. The girls all have older actresses playing them, but I really enjoyed it. If you love older cartoons and you want a modern shows like that, I totally recommend The Loud House. So moving on to the comic book section of this show, and talking about my pick of the week. What was my favorite comic? Now, I actually have the comic right next to me, and that is Superwoman issue 1. And this was my most anticipated DC Rebirth book, and it is probably my favorite DC Rebirth book. It has a lot of twists and turns. I will say some of the promotion was misleading, but in the best way possible, that you read this book and you actually don't expect what you get. You're surprised, and I haven't had that with a comic in a really long time, especially in this day and age where everything's spoiled for you, or you get, preview pages on the internet. You are actually surprised with this, and there's some really great character development with Lana and Lois. You see how different they are as characters, and there's a really good cliffhanger. This was a 5-star book for me, so if you haven't read Superwoman, really recommend this book, because it was a pleasant surprise, but also really fresh, especially, again, in the day and age we live now, where everything gets spoiled for you. Alright, so what are the 3 books I'm most anticipating this week? And let's get started. I do my number 3, number 2, and then number 1. So my third most anticipated book is Supergirl Rebirth issue 1. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the art style from what I've been seeing. It looks a little darker than I want, a little plainer. But I am excited to see Supergirl go in a new direction, because I didn't love her new 52 version of herself, but I'm a huge fan of this character. So I hope that we get to see some aspects of the TV show kind of flood into this book, but also making this book its own, making it its own universe, and being attached to the DC Rebirth universe. So I'm excited, definitely anticipating this book, but again, the artwork is kind of making me stay away from it, but let's see. So number 2 is a Marvel book, and that's Fallen issue 1, which is the aftermath of Civil War III. We see with the Hulk family how they react to what happened with Bruce Banner. And so I'm excited. Hopefully we get to see Jen Walters, because we haven't really seen that much of her in Civil War because of what happened with her in the beginning of the arc. So now she's awake, so hopefully we get to see some good emotions from her. I think the character I'm most excited for, though, is Betty Ross, because we haven't really seen her character since she was in that previous Hulk series where she is not Red She-Hulk anymore. She's gone through a lot, especially with her relationship with Bruce, and I don't think the character gets enough screen time, and I think that's why the whole Red She-Hulk story arc kind of fell for her. But I'm hoping we get to see more, especially from her in this book. I hope she might be the voice of this book, and I think that's where Fallen could definitely be the strongest. So my most anticipated book is Civil War II, Choosing Sides, issue 4. So I am a huge Power Pack fan, and that's why I am really excited for this, because we are getting a small story with Julie Power, Jack, and Katie. Now, Jack and Katie we really have not seen in years. Besides those miniseries, we really haven't seen them in the regular continuity of Marvel. Now, with Julie and Alex we have. Last time we saw Julie was before Marvel Now, so it was a couple of years ago with Avengers Academy. She had a really great arc there that I hope we could see explored in this book. And then Alex Power is not going to be in this issue, but he was recently in the Future Foundation, and we've seen him scattered around the Marvel Universe a bit more. But yeah, I'm excited to see Julie trying to live this college life. I don't know how this is going to tie into choosing sides about the future, but I hope this could be a good stepping stone for us to get more Power Pack, because I think it's a team that not a lot of people know about, but has some really interesting personalities and characters. So hopefully we get to see more screen time with them, and I think this is a good way to do so. So pick that up, though. We get a lot of sales in a Power Pack series. Let's hope. So those are my most anticipated books, and that is our show for this week. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see added, what segments you really liked, because I would really like to make this a fun show, and I'm already having fun recording it. So thank you guys. This is Comic Uno and LRM Online, and I'll see you guys next week for Comic Uno, the weekly roundup.